Welcome friends, James Corbett here from CorbettReport.com with this week's eye-opener preview for BoilingFrogsPost.com. So as you know by now, I'll just be showing the first few minutes of this week's episode, but if you want the full episode, please go to BoilingFrogsPost.com and scroll down to the eye-opener, and there you'll see it, and you can just click on the video and start watching the full report. And this week it's a 20-minute report, quite gargantuan, so I think it's well worth your time to go and take a look at that. And for those of you who don't know, I'll just show you on YouTube for each week's edition. For example, this is last week's edition of the Eye Opener Preview. We have continue watching and this ur1.ca link. If you click that, it takes you directly to boilingfrogspost.com and directly to the Eye Opener report, and also transcripts and sources. And if you click on that, it will take you to my website, CorbettReport.com, where I post the entire transcript of the entire video each and every week, including all of the links, all of the hyperlinks that will take you directly to all of the sources that are cited in that video, usually dozens and dozens of them, as you can see here. So those are two handy things. And of course, if you click show more, it'll show you a little bit more about the write-up for today's episode. And of course, once you're there on Boiling Frogs Post and you watch the Eye Opener report, of course, please consider hitting that subscribe button to help keep us going and growing in this alternative media environment. So if you appreciate the work, please consider supporting it. So thank you very much and enjoy this week's episode. Welcome. This is James Corbett of the Corbett Report with your Eye Opener report from BoilingFrogsPost.com. The cultivation of what we know today as the opium poppy goes back to the beginnings of recorded history, when the Sumerians in ancient Mesopotamia cultivated what they referred to as whole gill, or the joy plant. The practice was passed down through the Assyrians to the Babylonians, and from there to the Egyptians, by which time the opium trade had begun to flourish and was fast becoming the linchpin of international trade across the Mediterranean into Europe. Indeed, as far back as one cares to go, control of the international opium trade has always been a key factor in the rise and fall of empires. During the 18th century, the British monopolized the opium trade in India and shipped thousands of chests of opium per year to China as a way of financing their huge trade deficit with that nation. When the Chinese cracked down on opium trafficking in the mid-19th century, the British fought two wars to ensure their Chinese opium market. By the 1830s, American traders were already getting in on the act, with Samuel Russell's Russell and Company becoming the largest American trading house in China. Russell's cousin, William Huntington Russell, founded Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale that has formed the core of the American intelligence establishment, a set of documentable facts that the establishment media seems eager to avoid.
The question is, to those of us on the outside, what do they do? Do they get together and have dinner together, or what is the point of this club?
Well, some say the point of the club is bonding. I look at it through the eyes of a social historian. And when you look at the grouping of people and the jobs that they have, you find a very large amount of the membership has been involved in intelligence. And then one of the most disturbing things is that the family groups have been involved in drug running since the early 1800s.
Drug running?
And it seems... Yes. The founder of Skull and Bones was William Huntington Russell, and his family business was a Russell and Company, which was the America's largest opium smuggler, the third largest in the world.
Wow. Chris Milligan, unfortunately, we are out of time. We're going to have to leave it at that fascinating subject, the author of a book on Skull and Bones. Thank you so much.
The association between Skull and Bones and the American intelligence establishment, from the OSS to the CIA, is well established by now, with a litany of agents, directors, and of course Director of Central Intelligence, George Poppy Bush himself, having been Bonesman before being recruited for the agency. But the connections between the CIA and the international drug trade is not simply an historical one about 19th century opium traders. This has been a preview of the Boiling Frogs Post Eye Opener report. To continue watching the report, please go to boilingfrogspost.com.